all the channels. And we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Any of you that have been watching for a while know, no matter what, you can find me here every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So today, I want to talk to you real quick because my entire family is waiting for me to get in the car, and we are driving 4 hours to the airport and then flying to Florida, where we are going to greet 350 people on a free cruise that we're paying for, an incentive trip that we started last year on Valentine's weekend. So, it's very, very important that you begin with the end in mind. A year ago on Valentine's Day, we were just doing our launch meeting. We were in Florida. We were so excited to be kicking off this company. And I look at where we've been in the last year, and I want to tell you guys something. If you knew how hard it was going to be when you were starting, you might never begin, right? If you really knew how much could change in just 1 year and you could see the end in mind, you might begin and be like, I'm doing it no matter what. But if someone told you, you're going to start this year with people who aren't going to be alive next year at the launch, you would be so devastated. You wouldn't even know. You would be thinking, that's going to be way too hard. I don't even want to experience that. If you had been told people were going to try to stop you and steal your dream and tear you down, you might be afraid and say, why would somebody do that? I don't know if I want to even put myself out there. If you knew that there was a chance that you might fail, what if you fail in front of everyone? What if you try and you don't fail, right? All of these things going on in your head. And when I think about a year ago, it was a huge decision. How many cabins do we want to pay for on this cruise ship? And my heart of hearts was like, let's buy the whole ship. And then that little man on my shoulder was like, remember that time when you failed financially? Remember that time when you had credit cards that were maxed out and your debts were high and your funds were low? And so it was this feeling of like, how big is this going to get? And I want to tell you guys something. There have been a lot of months where maybe it wasn't easy for me, whether it was emotionally or physically, or maybe there were a lot of people trying to stop me from pursuing what I knew that I needed to do. But never once did I stop and think, I'm going to give up. I'm not going to do this. A made up mind is so very important, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Anything you do that's worth doing, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And you're going to lose people, and you're going to grieve, and you're going to have people turn against you, and you're not going to believe that they turned against you. Like they were your close friends that were in it to win it with you. You're going to have people that tell you you're dumb and stupid, and that what you're doing is not anything someone else would want to do. And they're going to justify why they're not doing it with you. That's the only way they can feel comfortable about who they are and what they decide to do with their future. But you can't be mad about anyone that's not going to move forward with you. You can't be mad about anyone that doesn't approve of what your goals and dreams are. I have so many nieces and nephews right now that are just on the brink of graduation and college or not college, marriage or not marriage, pursuing a big career, or maybe they just want to be a mom. Maybe they don't want to pursue a big career. Some are going to want to say, I want to move far away and experience the world. And some are going to say, I would never leave my hometown and this little, community that I'm a part of. Everyone is different. And I want to ask you a question. Why do you not pursue your dreams and goals? Why would you be stuck? Why would you be not happy? Why would you stay unhealthy? Why would you, in a world where you can dream and achieve anything you ever dreamt of, America, where everybody wants to come to pursue the American dream, right? If that's true, then why are so many people stuck? Why are so many people stuck? Do you want to know why? because they haven't been conditioned yet to actually build the muscle. They haven't been conditioned enough to actually have the compassion. They haven't been teachable. They haven't been coachable. They haven't been sick and tired of being sick and tired long enough to be mad and pivot. You are where you are today because you're choosing what you're not changing. I am where I'm at today because I'm choosing what I'm not changing. How I feel about myself. Do you know the strange thing about how you feel about yourself is no one can make you feel inferior except for you. You can blame your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your grandma, your grandpa, an inheritance, an education, an opportunity that they had with business or whatever. No one can make you feel inferior except for you. I am the oldest of 5, and we all live in the same town. And I grew up where we drank the milk long after it was expired, and we tore the mold off the bread. And we got hand-me-downs from the wealthy people that my mom cleaned houses for after she got off work. We got leftovers for dinner when she came home from cleaning for the people with the oil money, the people with the investments. We didn't have that. We had a single wide trailer house with a king size bed. You know that old rhyme? There was 5 in the bed and the other one said, roll over, roll over. So the one rolled over and the other fell out. There was 4 in the bed and the little one said, like, we used to laugh singing that together. It was so cold with the breeze that came through those windows. We would go to bed making a tent with our knees and a blow dryer under the sheets. Can you imagine if my grandchildren wanted to take a blow dryer to bed under the sheets? My mom and dad taught us that just to keep warm. I don't know how to express to you. My niece said yesterday, she goes, Aunt Barb, how come you never tell your real story? And I guess I wouldn't think anybody would want to hear that real story. But do you know what made the difference for me? What made the difference for me is that one day I had a mentor that said to me, you can be and do and have anything that you dream of. And we believed him. We got called crazy. It sounds too good to be true. Oh, the Pitcocks are in a pyramid. They're selling snake oil. They went through a bankruptcy. They don't pay their bills. They're scam artists. I've been called everything in the book, even this week, from people that I love. But do you want to know something? I know that I am a child of the Most High God. And I know I have an audience of 1. And I don't care if anyone's opinion or anyone's hate or anyone's advice. Everybody got their free advice. It's worth exactly what you're paying for it, guys. You can go online and you can find a million opinions and a million reasons why not to do what God put in your heart. Or you can stop and you can listen and you can pray and you can move forward with or without the people that you love the most applauding you, with or without your haters hating on you or not hating on you. You have to know that you know that you know that at the end of this lifetime, you did it. Every single one of you has time every day. Some of you are doom scrolling for 2 hours a night. You don't even know about the kids, the grandkids, your mom, your dad, your sister, your anyone else. You're just doom scrolling. And do you know what? It's because that makes you feel a certain way, happy. Maybe it makes you feel encouraged. Maybe it makes you look at other people's stuff and dream. There's a lot of good things about seeing something on social media. There's mentors, there's YouTube, there's coaches, there's preachers, there's teachers. But at the end of the day, how many hours a day do you do that? 2 hours a day? 14 hours a week? Do you know what you could do with 14 hours a week? You could stop suffering. You could stop struggling. You could stop telling your trauma story that you're addicted to. You could stop feeling less than and licking your wounds. You could stop being jealous. You could stop being sad. You could stop being mad. You could stop being stuck. You could stop being broke. You could stop being brokenhearted. You could stop being distracted. You could stop having clutter everywhere. You could just do one room a day or one room a week for 12 weeks. You are exactly where you are because of the things that you have made up to be real in your mind. And I love that there's a hater on here right now because haters gonna hate and they're always gonna hate. I pray for them. And I want to tell you why I pray for them. And now they're gonna hate on this too. Because anybody with love and compassion, with authenticity, which is the highest vibration of all, anybody that truly seeks God within them, your inner spirit, that Holy Spirit, they're all love. The people that hate me, I love them. I love them. I forgive them. I don't argue with them. I just let them stay perplexed. Have you ever heard the Sermon on the Mount? Have you ever heard the Sermon on the Mount? If you've ever heard the Sermon on the Mount, I will tell you, Jesus started with 12. He started with 12. And he didn't have a lot of people that believed. And everywhere he went, there was someone that said, he's a liar. He's fake. He is not real. There were people that said he thinks he's something special. There were people that threw rocks. There were people that stoned him. There were people, in the end, killed him. But I want to tell you something. He didn't stop to de-perplex the perplexed. He didn't. He let them stay perplexed. He didn't try to make the haters full of love. He let them stay haters. He didn't make the mockers, please stop mocking me. Please don't make fun of me. No, when a lion's in the jungle and he sees a little kitty and the little kitty's saying, you're ugly, the lion doesn't turn around and argue with the little kitty because he's powerful. He knows that with God for him, who dare be against him? He moves forward with a made-up mind. And you guys, it's not going to be easy. It is going to be hard. And there are going to be times where you want to give up. This week, we lost one of our dear friends in Frequence, Cynthia. And Cynthia Mabry was on every inner circle call. She was a light. She was at every convention. There's a picture of her hugging Callie on stage. And there's another picture of her standing with 3 or 4 girls full of laughter. There's one of her on stage getting her award. And you guys, this was just our last event was August. And this woman was just on the brink of huge, huge success. Nobody really knows that she wasn't the top leader in the company. She wasn't the highest money earner in the company. She didn't have the most awards last year at convention, but she made the most impact of anyone that I've heard of this week. Bryn Lang shared with me how devastated she was because Cynthia was the one that helped her through her journey, having to overcome being molested, having to overcome that she was abused, having to overcome mistakes that she made in her younger years. And, you know, any of you that know Bryn, she shared her story last year. And she was on the stage being so authentic and so raw and so real. And there wasn't a dry eye in the room. What nobody knew is that Cynthia was Bryn's coach through the hardest times in her life, a friend that was there, not some high-paid seminar that she went to. It wasn't like it was some big revival where it happened, although a lot does happen in places like that. It wasn't that she had to be anybody different than she was. Cynthia met her right where she was and helped her understand your past does not determine your future. You are enough. You are loved. You might be in the deep right now, but you're being conditioned to be so great, to share that story, and to be able to make so much impact in your life. This week, when Beverly, Cynthia's mom, reached out to customer support, we didn't know each other. And the message that she left rocked everybody in customer support. And my daughter, Callie, had a conversation with her and then reached out to the Diamonds and then called us. And what her mom said was, Sunday morning, we had the best conversation, Barb. She was so excited for the upcoming event. She had just gotten off a call with her international group, and she was talking to people over in Germany. She loved the community. She loved the people. She loved the products. She couldn't wait to be with everyone in her Frequence family. And her mom was just absolutely devastated. She said, I have never met you or her friends in Frequence. And she was getting text messages from Cynthia's upline, Bren, Marina, Callie, myself. And she had no idea the impact that her daughter had made. She just knew her daughter was coming to the event. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you think Cynthia had an amazing life growing up, and that's why she was so great? Cynthia was widowed at a very young age. When I asked her, does she have a husband that we could reach out to? When I asked her about family, she said, I'm going to be traveling there with her sister. We have no idea what happened. She was just doing amazing. And then we got the call that, they found her and she was no longer alive. And it really made me think, you guys, because on Saturday, Cynthia had no idea that that was her last day on this earth. On Sunday, Cynthia was very excited about her future and her dreams and her goals and her plans. And then there was a call that was it. It was finished. One thing that I learned listening to her mom is that she never gave up. I don't know the details, but her mom said she had a really hard childhood and a lot of demons to fight, a lot of setbacks, a lot of pain that gave her so much purpose, that gave her so much passion to make so much impact. How many of you right now are making excuses because you have a lot of pain? How many of you right now are making excuses because you have a lot of debt? How many of you are sitting right now playing the victim card because it's not fair what somebody did to you? How many of you are grieving and you can't get past it? You've just experienced horrible loss. How many of you are intimidated? Your self-confidence is gone. You're comparing yourself to everyone else that you think is more than you. How many of you are lonely? How many of you are sitting there lonely and you're isolating and you're playing that card? I'm all alone. I'm isolating. My nephew was here last night and he was telling me that there was a young man. I'm sorry, my little granddaughter is coming in here and she literally doesn't have a stitch of clothes on. Rosie, go find Daddy and Papa. They're getting you ready for the cruise. She's literally blowing kisses. No. So he was telling me about a child that we had lost yesterday. Hang on 1 second, guys. I got to get Rosie out of here. Come on, Rose. You can't come on the camera with no clothes on. That's not cool. Rosie's on the camera with no clothes on. That's not cool. Please. Oh my goodness. The life of a CEO. Grandma needs to get her dressed and get in the car. We got a whole crew packing the car. It was a sad story I was telling you. And then obviously we had a little distraction. But my nephew Slade was here last night and he's thought about doing a lot of things with his career. Paint repair, dentless paint repair, and talked about going to school for that. He's doing an internship with my brother, works on cars every week at Precision Collision. And okay, I am blocking this crazy person. You're not going to comment on my stuff like that. Always got to be evil, good and evil. My nephew was here and he said, you know, the guy that I was going to do the mentorship with, he said his son was going to take over the business and it's massive. It's a great business. And he said, the problem is his son hung himself yesterday. And I looked at Slade and I said, how could that be? He had so much success. He had incredible family. His future was bright, going to take over the business. And he said, you know, the problem is nobody even knew that he was struggling. He was set for life. He had it made. There are a lot of people, you guys, who are struggling and they're struggling in a way that nobody knows. It's up to us to reach out to people. Hurting people hurt people. They're the only ones. They're the only ones that hurt people. If people weren't hurting, they wouldn't hurt you. What comes in must come out. There's good and there's evil in the world. People will say, oh, that is that God? And people will say that's the devil. It doesn't mean the person is the devil. What it means is they're full of hate and venom and anger and jealousy and greed, and they want to tear down instead of building up. Do you know there are so many people that are hurting so bad, they don't even want to be here anymore. And it's up to us to be the light to those people. The conditioning is not easy, but it's worth it. I have a sign on my desk that I look at every single day, and it's very heavy, solid marble. A diamond is a rock that stood up to stress exceptionally well. A diamond is just a rock that stood up to stress exceptionally well. How stressed are you right now? How hard is it for you to keep going? How scared are you right now? How scared are you right now? How hurt are you right now? Whatever it is that you're feeling, one of the best ways for you to get unstuck in this conditioning is to go help someone that is in your situation get through what they're getting through. If you're grieving, help someone that's grieving. If you're brokenhearted, help someone that's brokenhearted. If you're struggling with addiction, well, I don't always know if that's the best thing, but it's good for you to be able to give, because when you give and you contribute, it makes you feel like there's some type of a reason why you're going through what you're going through. So when Dave's grandmother lost her husband at age 50 of just a heart attack that came out of nowhere, Cindy could not believe her dad died at such a young age. But she said, Mama joined the Peace Corps and just left and went to the Philippines. And the problem is we say, that person's crazy. They just ran off and they wanted to go join the Peace Corps, or Barb just wants to give all of her money to help people in addiction recovery, or, we other people want to question what you're doing. But the reality is that dream is in your heart for a reason, and the pain that you're going through will give you so much purpose to just keep going. The pain that you're going through will give you so much purpose to just keep going. I'm going to tell you guys, I have been through a lot in my life, and I've been very authentic about it because I know that there's somebody out there that's going through what I've been through, that I might reach just one person. And no matter whatever opposition I come against, I will never stop. You're going to be conditioned during your hardest times to be able to witness to other people how you got through it. So let's say that you're a young 18-year-old kid and you're trying to figure out right now what to do with your life. And you have no idea what you want to do. You just know you want to do something. You're going to have a million opinions that tell you what to do. And you're going to have a lot of people that are going to steal your dream. But this is what I would tell that younger self. Do what you love and do it every single day, because life is too short to hate your life. Be authentic and share your gifts, your talents, your strengths. Never make your decision of what you're going to do with your life based on the pressure of money. Because money might pay bills, money might get you through a tough time, but money is not going to give you the happiness. What's going to give you the happiness is having pure bliss in your heart that you're doing something you love. I had a company at one point that was millions of dollars, and we were featured in 2011 at the DSA. Maya Angelou was speaking there. I was on stage, John Maxwell, Susie Orman, all these amazing people. And I remember we had a consultant, and he came to me one day and he said, Barb, you're running a multi-million-dollar company. And every Tuesday and Wednesday, you leave the office at 3:00 to walk around the corner to this little dance school, to sit on the floor with 3-year-olds and say, my name is Miss Puffy. I sit on the floor with the bottoms of my feet together, holding my ankles so. Sometimes I get so tired, I fall. And we would all touch our toes to our nose. And then it said, wake up, Miss Puffy, sit up tall. She rocks and she rocks and she rocks and she rocks from side to side, holding her ankles so. Sometimes she gets so tired, she falls. And we would do this to help the 3-year-olds learn how to be flexible, how to focus, how to be able to point their toes, how to be able to stand up tall and then go down small. And I loved it. And I remember one day I thought to myself, if I'm going to be the CEO and president of this company, my husband was the president, I was vice president. I was out in the field, he was running all the employees. And I remember thinking to myself, should I really give up teaching dance? And I had 13 nieces and nephews at the time, a lot of them in diapers, showing up to those classes. And I loved it so much. It gave me so much happiness. It was better for me than therapy. It was better for me than going to work out. It was better for me than so many things that other people might do for their release, what made them happy. I loved having the little girls. And I know a lot of people are against this, but at my dance school, every little girl got an award. We did have competition teams, but it was my dream to give them the carnation on Valentine's Day, to say, I love you. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're a champion. And we started that at age 3. Since I was a young girl, I feel like I've always had a dream in my heart to build up people. And the reason why is because somebody was there in my life at one point to build me up. So whether it was little girls at a ballet studio, or whether it was women coming together in a business, or now the nonprofit that we started this week. Well, we've had it since 2008, but we had not been really building it. But Invisible Angels is able to work together with Kevin Hines with suicide awareness, some of the top addiction and recovery coaches coming forward. We had a huge call last night just to be able to give back. I would draw every business plan and show every presentation and sell every product and travel the miles and meet the people and have people tear me down, hate me, quit me, call me all. I would do it all again just to see that dream come to fruition. I'm telling you guys, it's a feel good now revolution. It's people that are coming together in a community where there are so many people struggling with mental health, thoughts of suicide, struggling with addiction, isolation. They're so depressed, they're so anxious. They're a lot of them in psychosis. That's why you see a lot of the things that you see show up on my wall. But here's the thing. I love these people because they don't even know what they do. They don't even know what they do. They don't realize when they hurt you. They don't realize when they steal your dream. They don't realize the power of their word. They're just hurting people, hurting other people. So here's what I want to say to you. What dream is in your heart? And I don't care how scary it is, take the risk. What dream is in your heart? I don't care who tells you you're crazy, go do it anyway. Go do it anyway. What is your dream? You know, the hard part is a lot of people don't do their dream, they do everyone else's dream. They do what mom and dad did or think that you should do. They do what grandma and grandpa did and they think you should do. I'm going to tell you, break the cycle. Break the cycle. There has been a lot of things in the roots of our family, a lot of strongholds that I have had to break. And one of them is a scarcity mindset. There have been a lot of habits and strongholds in our family that I have had to break. One that I do not tolerate, gossip. There have been a lot of daily method of operations that maybe I don't allow into my circle, TV and news. Automatic income reducer, low vibration, messes up the nervous system. The only way I know is if somebody comes and tells me, because I couldn't do what I do if I didn't practice what I practice. So every single day I wake up with a grateful heart. What am I grateful for today? If you have any anger in your heart towards anyone, you got to bless and release and let that go. You can't have any jealousy. God's not going to bless a jealous heart. You can't have any hate. God's not going to bless that either. You've got to be able to forgive and love and let them be how they are. Let the haters hate. Let the perplexed be perplexed. Let the mockers mock. Let the laughers laugh. Let the quitters quit. You're not a quitter. You are a child of the Most High God. And I'm going to tell you something. The hardship you're going through right now is conditioning you to get angry. It's conditioning you to be hungry for more. And as long as you're hungry for more and you have a dream in your heart that is so big, there's no way you're giving up. I'll tell you this. If people are trying to stop you and steal your dream, become successful in spite of them, just to show them that you are enough. God wouldn't put a heart with a dream if he didn't believe that it was possible. Every single one of you, 7.5 billion people on the planet, none of us look the same. None of us are the same. Every single one of us conditioned for greatness. What is your greatness? And what is it that you're going through right now that's conditioning you to be strong enough? It's broke you to the point that you have compassion. It's destroyed you to the point that you have strength putting the pieces back together. It's given you an education and wisdom that you never would have had before. Be grateful for the hard times because that's what really conditions a champion. And I know some of you are like, Barb, you have no idea what I'm going through. I don't. Your journey is yours. But here's what I will tell you. God has a plan for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, to give you hope, not to harm you, to prosper you, to give you hope and a future. It's a promise. I'm going to end with this Winston Churchill quote that hangs massively on my wall. He said, success is walking from failure to failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Every single one of you is conditioned to be great. I have a story. You have a story. Don't sit there having plum disease. Poor little old me playing the victim card of what everyone did to you. Get up. If you can look up, you can get up, and you too can be great. I'll see hundreds of yous on the Rise and Vibe cruise and several hundred more when we get off the cruise ship there at our convention, the first annual convention, where we are going to ride that next wave and change so many people's lives. And I hope that yours is one of them. Have an amazing day, everyone. I love you.